Every year, companies like Tyson Foods turn thousands of tons of raw chicken breast into nuggets that look and taste exactly the same. Whether you buy them in a supermarket bag or in a fast food combo, the shocking part is how fast it happens. From cold, pale meat to golden, breaded nuggets in just minutes. Most of us only ever see the end of the story. The box in the freezer aisle, the tray under the heat lamp. But behind that box is a production line that looks more like a car factory than a kitchen. Precision grinders, vacuum mixers, batter waterfalls, oil tunnels, and freezing chambers all work in sequence, tuned down to the degree and the second. If you enjoy pulling back the curtain on how everyday food is engineered at scale, take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. The story starts long before the first nugget shape appears. For a brand like Tyson Foods, the process begins with strict selection of chicken meat, often centered on chicken breast that has been acid drained and chilled for as long as 16 hours. Pallets of chicken arrive with paperwork listing production dates, batch numbers, and temperatures. Technicians in white coats don't just glance at the boxes. They check color, smell, packaging integrity, and even bacteria counts with dedicated inspection equipment. A thermometer probe goes into the meat, and anything outside the target temperature range is flagged. Feathers, bits of skin with defects, any sign of rot, those are automatic rejects. The goal is simple: only uniform, clean, safe meat is allowed onto the line. Once the meat passes inspection, it stops being recognizable chicken very quickly. Breast meat and carefully selected skin are fed into an industrial meat grinder. Inside, a heavy screw pushes the chilled meat against a perforated plate, often with 16mm holes for this kind of product. What comes out is a stream of coarse, pale pink particles. Not a smooth paste yet, but a controlled granulation. Operators can swap the orifice plates to change particle size, depending on the texture the brand wants. The ground skin might be collected in a separate, clean 5-cornered bucket, ready to be blended back in at a precise ratio to balance juiciness, fat content, and cost. The next step is where the flavor and structure of the nugget are born. All those ground pieces of breast and skin are loaded into a vacuum mixer the size of a small car. Along with the meat go salt, sugar, MSG, spices, and sometimes binders like starch or flour. In some lines, workers add chunks of dry ice directly into the mix. As the paddles churn for around 30 minutes, the vacuum pulls out air, reducing oxidation and helping proteins bind. The dry ice keeps the temperature low so the mixture doesn't smear into mush. The trick is to mix thoroughly without mincing the chicken into a completely homogeneous paste. Manufacturers want a specific bite, fine enough to be tender but with just enough particle structure that it doesn't feel like foam. From there, the mixture is ready to become something recognizable. The seasoned chicken mass is pumped or dropped into the hopper of a forming machine. Inside, air pressure and mold stamping work together like a high-speed cookie cutter. The machine presses the meat into molds shaped like classic ovals, rounds, or custom profiles designed for a particular customer. Every nugget is calibrated to a standard weight so that thousands of them will cook identically later on. As the molds cycle, a conveyor belt carries out neat rows of raw nuggets. Operators watch the first few meters of product carefully, pulling off any malformed pieces, loose crumbs, or partial shapes. Those get recycled back into the hopper. Only fully formed, uniform nuggets are allowed to move on. At this stage, the nuggets are still just pale, soft patties. Their iconic crunch and color come from a carefully engineered coating system. First, the formed pieces pass under or through a battering machine. A pump sends a slurry of liquid batter up and over, creating what the industry calls a natural water curtain. To the eye, it looks like a thin waterfall of beige liquid. As the nuggets travel underneath on the conveyor, every surface is touched, coated in a thin, even film. Temperature controllers keep this batter below about 10 degrees Celsius because if it warms up, it thickens, separates, and stops clinging properly. Right after battering, the nuggets hit the powder. They slide into a breading or flour coating machine where a curtain of dry material, starch, flour, or breadcrumbs, falls from above while a bed of crumbs waits below. The rule on this line is strict. No bare patches, no piles of crumbs clumped on one side. The machine is tuned so each nugget is rolled and dusted just enough to pick up an even layer. In some plants, workers still use manual sprinklers to adjust coverage on the fly, adding more or less breading depending on how the line is running. This first dry layer helps build texture and gives the next batter something to cling to. For many high-crunch products, that's not enough. The nuggets may go back through a second battering step, this time into a thicker, richer slurry. Some lines use an upper thickening machine with a V-shaped groove. As the nuggets move along, they're cradled in that groove and completely wrapped in paste, forming a uniform protective shell. This double coating system, batter, powder, thicker batter, final crumbs, creates the layered crust that survives freezing, shipping, and oven reheating without turning soggy. Operators can tweak the concentration and temperature of this second batter to hit a specific bite, light and tempura-like, or heavy and crunchy. Now the coated nuggets are ready for the most dramatic part of their journey, the oil. They enter a continuous fryer, essentially a long stainless steel bathtub of hot shortening with a moving chain. The temperature is set around 185 degrees Celsius. As the chain pulls the nuggets through, they're submerged in shimmering oil for a tightly controlled window, often just about 30 seconds. That's enough to set the coating, drive off surface moisture, and start cooking the meat, turning the exterior a tempting golden color. The fryer's temperature control system and automatic stirring ensure that nuggets don't clump together or burn. Excess oil is drained away automatically, both to keep the product from becoming greasy and to reduce how much oil the factory has to replace. When the nuggets emerge from the fryer, they're hot, fragrant, and fragile. If you tried to pack them now, they'd steam themselves into a soggy mess and spoil quickly. So they head straight into the cold. First, some lines use an air-cooled conveyor to blow away surface oil and drop the temperature slightly. Then the nuggets enter a quick freezing tunnel. Inside, powerful fans blast air at temperatures that can reach -40 degrees Celsius. For 30 to 35 minutes, the nuggets ride this Arctic conveyor until their core temperature plunges well below freezing, often to around -18 degrees or lower. This rapid freezing locks in moisture, stabilizes the crust, and halts bacterial growth. The result is a nugget that can survive months in a freezer and still crisp up nicely in your oven or fryer at home. Throughout this whole sequence, quality control shadows the product. Temperatures are logged at every stage: the incoming meat, the batter, the fryer oil, the freezer tunnel. Microbiological tests are run on samples to check bacteria counts. Visual inspections catch any irregular shapes or coating defects. For global brands that supply fast food chains, systems like HACCP and ISO 22000 aren't buzzwords. They're the frameworks that dictate how every batch is documented and traceable. If a problem is found in a box at a restaurant, the plant can trace it back to a specific shift, a specific line, even a specific batch of raw meat. The last part of the journey is almost anticlimactic compared to the violence of grinding and the extremes of frying and freezing. The now rock-hard nuggets leave the freezer and drop into weighing systems that portion them into exact counts or weights, say 20 pieces for a retail bag, or bulk quantities for a restaurant client. Automated packaging machines form bags or boxes, fill them, seal them, and print date codes and batch numbers. Pallets of these frozen uniform nuggets are then moved into storage freezers, waiting to be loaded onto trucks. From there, they fan out to supermarkets, school cafeterias, and fast food kitchens around the world. The twist is that what looks like a simple snack is actually the product of a finely tuned industrial choreography. Every element, the 16mm grinder plate, the 30-minute vacuum mix, the 185-degree oil bath, the 30-35-minute quick freeze, is chosen to solve a specific problem: safety, texture, cost, or consistency. That's how a brand like Tyson Foods can promise that a nugget bought in one city will taste and feel almost identical to a nugget bought thousands of kilometers away. The uniformity isn't an accident, it's the whole point. If you want to see how this same kind of industrial precision transforms something far less familiar than chicken into high-end products, the story of how Australia turns exotic hides into luxury sports gear is the perfect next step. It shows how factories can turn raw animal materials into status symbols. See you there.